Just waiting on TV to come back.
There it is. Okay, welcome again to those that are joining us from home. This is the regular session of the Poquoson City Council for Monday, August 27th. I'll call this meeting to order and ask if we could all please rise. I'll lead you in the invocation and pledge of allegiance. Heavenly Father, thank you for this day and for the many blessings we have received in our city. As we enter a new school year, we ask for your guidance to our citizens to remember that our traffic laws are important and that our schools are going to be started off safely. We are transitioning, and we ask for a portion of your wisdom to our everyday citizen. As well, we ask for your blessing on those who serve in our military or our public safety employees here in our state, our city, and in our federal government. We do all this in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, as we enter into the meeting this evening, I would like council to consider amending the agenda to add a special presentation. Councilman Green, are you prepared with a motion on that?
Mr. Mayor, I move that we amend our agenda tonight and add item number 3 under special presentations, a presentation by Chief Bowen.
Second.
Okay, motion made and seconded that we amend the agenda. Evie, please.
Certainly. Councilwoman Andrews?
Aye.
Councilman Cannella?
Aye.
Councilman Southall?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Freeman?
Aye.
Councilman Hucks?
Aye.
Councilman Green?
Aye.
Mr. Mayor Hunt?
Aye.
Mr. Mayor, the vote was carried by 7-0.
Okay, very good. So we're in special presentations. We're going to start off here with Fire Chief Holloway. We're going to talk about the ISO classifications and looking forward to this presentation.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, Mr. Manager, I'm here tonight to, well, first off, I find it very distasteful when people get up and brag over something, but I kind of feel like tonight we have a little bit of room to brag. We have recently completed our ISO review as the Insurance Services Office Incorporated. They collect and evaluate information from communities in the United States on their structure fire suppression capabilities. They look at a community's water delivery system, the emergency communications system, as well as the fire department operations itself. The fire suppression rating schedule, or what they call the FSRS, recognizes fire protection features only as they relate to suppression of first alarm structure fires. A community's investment in fire mitigation is a proven and reliable predictor of future fire losses. And y'all should certainly be proud because you've invested enough in our department and it made a difference. Statistical data on insurance losses bears out the relationship between excellent fire protection, as is measured by the Public Protection Class Program, or the PPC, and low fire losses. Insurance companies use this information for marketing, underwriting, as well as establishing fair premiums for homeowners and commercial fire insurance. In general, the price of a fire insurance in a community with a good PPC is substantially lower than in a community with a poor PPC rating, assuming all other factors are equal. The public protection classes are ranked 1 through 10, and I'll give you a little breakdown. Class 1 fire departments in the United States, and this is countrywide, and these are the latest figures as of 2017, end of 2017. There are only 241 Class 1 departments, 1,324 Class 2s, So you can see that's a very small amount of departments nationwide. When we go to a Class 3, we jump to 3,400. Almost 7,000 in Class 4, which we were a Class 4 previously. 9,490 Class 5s. 7,819 Class 6s. We were Class 6 before we were a 4. 3,900 Class 7s, 860 Class 8, 1,600 Class 8B, 8,700 Class 9, and 1,594 Class 10. Your Class 1 and 2 departments represent exemplary fire protection capabilities. And of course, Class 10 means that basically you don't meet the criteria for ISO and certainly would meet no NFPA standards whatsoever. At the completion of their initial review, we received a PPC of 3. And I guess at the time when we got it, we were somewhat disappointed because this didn't come about in a short amount of time. When I became chief, one of the things that I did was take our old ISO report and looked at all of the things that needed to be corrected. And to the best of my knowledge, we corrected them all. And so we were somewhat disappointed. And upon review of the report, it was obvious to myself as well as our team that was working on this that we had missed some points. So I requested another review and cited the reasons why in a detailed letter. Upon re-review, our score was up to 88.07, and a PPC rating of 2 was given to us. And that's no small feat for a department our size. That's something to really be proud of, right there alone by itself. But again, not all of the errors that I had cited had been corrected. So I requested another review. Now, this gentleman that did it is the first time that he's done a review under the new system. So he was new at this, and it's really the first time that I really, was in charge of a review that would mean so much to us. And anyway, he made some mistakes, and we increased our score to 88.86, which is only 1.14 away from a Class 1 department. And in this area, to the best of my knowledge, Hampton, Newport News, the only Class 1 departments. There are a few Class 2s and a few Class 2Ys, which means their water system is not sufficient in certain parts of the county or the city. But this PPC rating 2 alone places up in the top 4% of departments evaluated in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Upon further review, after we received this latest update, it was obvious to me that he had missed some more points, and particularly under the communications aspect. ISO simply says that you need to meet the NFPA standards, 1221, which our communications center meets and exceeds all NFPA standards with regard to communications. They faulted us for only having one method of notification, and over the telephone with between Mr. C, was the evaluator's name, and Terry Hall, they counted 4 methods of notification that we have, including microwave. Like I said, we were one of the first ones in the country that you could text a call into the dispatch center, and they can answer your request. So I have gotten Terry Hall, I have requested, and he has done so at this point, made contact with Mr. C, and they are reevaluating those numbers. And it is our belief that the 1.14 points is attainable to achieve a Class 1 ISO rating. I think that when he reviews that, we stand a good chance of it being completed. I think that what he did was he gave us the same score that he did York County and the same score that he gave Williamsburg, and I think that was probably easy to do, take shortcut and say, well, they all use the same system and I'll give them the same score. I know that the Williamsburg Fire Chief had recognized that there were some mistakes in his and requested another review, and they turned him down. They wouldn't give it to him. So hopefully, with this last review of the communication center, it will affect not only the city of Poquoson, but it will affect York County and Williamsburg's rating as well. And I know for a fact Williamsburg is 1.16 points away from a Class 1. So that's where we're at. And again, it's a lot to be proud of. And
Well, Chief, at a 2, we're among the top what percent?
what'd you say?
Top 4%.
Oh, with a PPC too, we're in the top 4% of departments in the Commonwealth of Virginia.
And you say when you took over as Chief, as your career has gone, you've gone from a 6 to a 4.
We were 6 years ago, and the last time we obtained a 4. And you got to realize at that time, our communications department was woefully lacking.
What I'm basically saying is, sounds to me, sir, that you're not bragging. You're basically saying, this is what we've done together, and thank you so much for leading our department to this type of rating and not stopping when the raters, we feel like they're short, and having that questioning attitude of, well, why? Well, thank you for that.
Well, I appreciate
and what does this mean for the citizens?
Theoretically, it should mean cheaper homeowners insurance rates.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But you're right. We we didn't want 1 point that we didn't deserve, but I feel like we want every one we do, and we won't stop until we get them. So.
Well, thank you.
Yes,
And
indeed.
we really appreciate that.
Yes, indeed.
And appreciate your hard work in doing that.
Yeah. Well, it's a team effort. It's not one person.
We understand.
Any other questions?
No.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to turn it over to City Manager, and this is for an introduction of new employees. I just want to point out to the citizens of Poquoson that we've been doing this a lot lately, right? We've been talking about introducing new employees because we're at that point in time where Poquoson became a city in 1975. I don't want to misquote myself, but I think that's right. And we are definitely at that point in time where it's a changing of the guard. So we look forward to seeing every one of these new employees take their place and continue what we consider to be one of the greatest places to live, not only in the state, but in the country. So we're looking forward to every one of these new employees taking their place. Some of the folks that are retiring we will dearly miss, and some of the folks that will continue to retire we will dearly miss. But it is time for that changing of the guard. So with that said, Randy?
Yes, sir. We'll start with the librarian. Jessica's here, and she will introduce her newest employee to you, to be followed by Chief Bowen, who will introduce 3 new faces to you, at least one of which you've probably already met.
Mr. Mayor and members of council, it is my pleasure to introduce to you Anita Chernitza. Anita is a resident of Newport News, but is originally from South Carolina and holds a degree in history from the University of South Carolina. She has more than 15 years of experience working and volunteering in libraries, beginning as a page in college and expanding her experiences into nearly every other department. She has worked for several library systems in South Carolina and Virginia, including York counties in both states and Williamsburg. Her husband of 22 years is a research scientist for Georgia Tech University, and together they have one daughter who is a sophomore at CNU.
Anita?
Yes.
Microphone is yours if you'd like to say hello. But we're a very
Okay.
friendly group. Okay.
I'm glad to be here and have the opportunity to join the community that everybody serves and get to know Poquoson a little bit better.
Great. Well, we look forward to seeing you in the library. And thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Chief?
And then just stay up after you're done, and you can do your other piece.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council, Mr. Wheeler.
This is a real privilege to come before you tonight and introduce some new employees. As you well know, we've had a few resignations and a retirement, and we had some new positions to fill, the SRO position. So we've been on a hiring position here in the last few months, and we've been really fortunate to really attract some high-quality folks to come to Poquoson that want to work here, and so we're real pleased. And I'll introduce their names and where they come from and let them tell you a little bit about themselves if they want to do that. And I'll begin with our lady that's sitting here. This is Kelly Confaloni. She comes to us by way of the Hampton Sheriff's Office. And also we have Mr. Dana Biggs, who comes to us from the York County, York Poquoson Sheriff's Office. Dana's also the SRO that's being assigned to the high school. And then Daniel Butler comes to us from the town of, Daniel Brooks, and who comes to us from the town of Kilmarnock. And I'll let Kelly start and tell a little bit about herself.
Good evening, everyone. It's an honor to be here. I'm thrilled to serve the citizens of Poquoson. I came from Hampton Sheriff's Office, as Chief said, and I feel that was a valuable experience, but I was ready to move on to other things, and Poquoson was the first city that I wanted to apply for, so I'm really excited to be here.
We're very excited to have you, and we know this is a new position, and we're all uniquely aware, uniquely tuned into what you're going to do. And I saw you driving around in the cruiser today, because I was like, hold it, I didn't recognize that one. So appreciate the you introducing yourselves.
It's a great city. I like the relationship that we have with the citizens, so.
Good.
Yeah.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I've had the pleasure of speaking with a few of you fine gentlemen earlier this week, and I'm Dana Biggs. I have to say it's my first attendance to the city council meeting, but I was happy to see prayer here, so I will say I do like that. So I'm a God-fearing man, a Christian man, try to be as best I can, as all of us try. But I'm looking forward to the SRO position and helping our kids and grow and help our citizens to continue to make this a great place.
Okay. Thank you very much, and we look forward to seeing you there.
Yes, sir.
And love seeing the background qualifications that you've got to do that position, so thank you very much. And I think I misquoted in the SRO, so thank you very much for doing that.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Good evening, council. My name is Dan Brooks. As the chief said, I come from the town of Kilmarnock, Virginia. Main reason why I ended up coming down here was I got some family that lives here in the area, and my, at the time, fiance lives towards this way, and a little bit of a commute driving back and forth down here, so I was looking for a new police department home, and I actually just got married about a week and a half ago, and I'm looking forward to working here with the city of Poquoson. It seems like a good department. Everybody that I've met through the department so far and the citizens so far are very nice, kind folks, so looking forward to seeing y'all around for a good while.
Yes, sir. We look forward to it.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And I'm glad that you got married. That means you'll be here a while. So.
I'll be here. Y'all got me.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you all.
All right, Chief. Before you even start.
Yes, sir.
Let me just say what a great job. I mean, we've had several altercations. I think you're getting ready to brief us on another one.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that the citizens hear me basically say what a great job the department in total has been doing.
Thank you.
Be it the spree of stolen cars from several weeks ago to basically a couple of incidents, one of which you're going to describe to us, I believe, but one's very similar weeks past. What a great job as a department you guys have done in, one, communicating to the citizens what's going on, two, in a timely manner, very fast, and three, then resolving every possible situation that you've come across. So thank you in advance of that, and then I won't break in or give you that after the fact and take away from what you're going to tell the citizens, which is kind of serious.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. And again, being shorthanded, the guys have really stepped up to the plate. All of them. It's been like Robert says, it's a team effort in public safety in Poquoson. and the support we get from the citizens and from other departments to work with us to help us get our job done is significant, and we appreciate it, particularly the support we get from council and from the city manager's office. So thank you again. So let me tell you a little bit about what happened last night, and then I'll have a couple of things I'd like to share with the citizens that I hope will even help keep us safe. During the hours between midnight and 6 a.m. on Monday morning, August 27th, suspects unlawfully entered multiple vehicles that were parked in residential areas along the 600 and 700 blocks of Yorktown Road, Powhatan Drive, and Merritt Drive. The suspects then removed cash, cell phone, accessories, medications, and various items of value from these vehicles. Poquoson police officers responded to this area on a report from a citizen of a suspicious person, and they did locate a suspect. After a brief foot pursuit, the officers were able to take the suspect into custody. The police department did recover stolen property and is now in possession of a number of items that are believed to have been stolen from several of the vehicles, but they have not been claimed. So we're asking citizens that live in the area to check their vehicles for any evidence of tampering or property being stolen. If you're missing something, let us know so we can return your property to you. The one thing that each one of these reported incidents had in common last night is that all the cars were reported to be unlocked at the time the thefts occurred. Therefore, the police department is advising the residents to take the following actions to protect their property. One, please keep your vehicle doors locked at night, even when the cars are parked in your driveway. Protect your valuables by removing them from your vehicles at night and securing them inside of your homes if at all possible. Keep exterior lights on around your home at night to discourage criminals from targeting your property. And keep all garages and exterior buildings locked at night and refrain from leaving valuable tools and equipment outside in plain view. Report any suspicious activity to the police department by immediately dialing 911 when you observe suspicious activity. In this way, residents can best assist us in preventing additional larcenies and minimize their own chances of becoming a victim of this type of crime. So we hope that that'll set in. And again, guys did a great job last night, and we do have some work to do as a result of that arrest. But we would hope that that the citizens would partner with us on this particular type of activity and understand that when we have individuals going through looking for open cars, they're looking for opportunities, and we can limit those opportunities by securing our own properties. So that's something that we need to do, and hopefully that this message will get out. But we'll continue to send it out through social media as well.
Okay, thank you for bringing that, Chief.
Thank you for your time.
Okay, the next item on the agenda this evening is an audience for visitors. We don't have any public hearings this evening, so if you'd like to address council on any issue, now is that time. Anybody like to speak? Yes, sir.
Mayor Hunt and city council members. One, I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to come here tonight and speak with y'all. For those of you that don't know me, I see quite a few faces I recognize, so I believe quite a few of you already shop at the Food Line, almost right next door. We are completing the remodeling of the entire store this week, and this Wednesday, Food Line wants to welcome all the customers and the community to the grand reopening of a local store, our store here, right next door. Food Line just finished investing $168 million in 105 stores here in the Hampton Roads area. Every single store we have has been remodeled, and it's all finishing up this week, and all of us will grand open, or the grand reopening will be Wednesday morning. But they wanted me to talk about a few things tonight. We've added just a ton of new items to the store in all categories. We changed our whole signage program. Almost the entire store is brand new from the floor up. If you've been in the store, it's not the store it was 6 months ago. And we did all that while we were still open, so it's been pretty amazing. I would leave one night and come back the next morning and be a whole new store. So it's really been an experience, I'll say, the last 5 months, but the store is almost complete now. If you haven't been in, I'd love to have all of you come in and take a look around. We went ahead and I was trying to think. Organic. We had a lot of organic, or a lot of gluten-free products. We've expanded the variety in all the categories. And every change they made, it was just to make it easier to shop. We changed the whole way we were on the front end. The company itself has hired 4,000 new people throughout this remodel process. And we, at this local store, have put on probably close to 25 people now, new positions. So it's been an excellent time period for us, and the store has turned out, if you haven't been over there, you got to come over and see it. It's really something. It's a lot different than the old store. Food Line also is committed to supporting the community. We work with the Peninsula Food Bank and 30 other Feeding America organizations, and to date, we've already donated over 400 million meals, and we'll continue that in the future. And a Food Line, they talk about it all the time. They don't think people should have to choose between, putting dinner on the table and rent. So that is our main focus, our main charity that we work with. And we do, throughout the year, we do several different events and ongoing. So it's really amazing the amount of support we get from the community. And Poquoson is unbelievable. When we do the food boxes or we do the food drives here in Poquoson, it's just amazing the support we get from this community. So I wanted to thank everybody here tonight, and the community. And again, I want to invite everybody. It's Wednesday morning, 7:45. The mayor has agreed to come help me cut the ribbon. The store will reopen at 8 a.m. And I just hope everybody enjoys the new store. And I know my staff and myself would love to see all you guys there. So.
Very good. Thank you for coming this evening and reintroducing. Like I said, it's a new start over there.
Yeah.
I was impressed with the way y'all went through the entire store and the parking lot.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was.
All at the same time while maintaining yourselves open. So I know that's personally rewarding for y'all, but it's rewarding for us as well. And I do see an uptick. Definitely see an uptick in the services there.
Oh, thank you.
And the new employees, and so we're looking forward to you being our hometown grocer. We'd like you to add the Seafood Festival to your list of sponsorships, but I'll leave that between you and Dave.
We're working on that right now, and I can't say anything tonight.
I know that Dave is very aggressive in that, so I didn't really need to say that.
Oh, the other thing, and I didn't mention it, but I mean, it was one of the things that everybody was requesting. They wanted fresh, hand-battered chicken in the store because we didn't have that. That's not what we were doing. That was not the program. We're in the process right now of having to go out, and I don't have big enough equipment to handle the demand. We introduced the hand-battered chicken, and we're actually getting ready to put in a larger fryer and some holding capacity. So it's been really popular. But just about everything we've done over there has been very popular. The business is unbelievable. I love working down here in Poquoson. I've been in that store now for 6 years, and it's a pleasure.
Thank you, and we look forward to teaming with you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, and I'll see you Wednesday morning. Thanks a lot.
Anybody else in the audience for visitors? Seeing none, I'll close the audience for visitors and ask council for consideration of the minutes.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve our minutes of the regular session of July 23rd, 2018.
Second.
A motion made and seconded that we approve those minutes of July 25th. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, Evie, please.
Councilman Southall,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Freeman,
Aye.
Councilman Hucks,
Aye.
Councilman Green,
Aye.
Councilman Canella,
Aye.
Councilwoman Andrews,
Aye.
Mayor Hunt.
Aye.
Mr. Mayor, the motion carried by a vote of 7-0.
Okay, very good. And one item under new business this evening, this is a resolution approving the boundary line adjustment for 962 Poquoson Avenue, which is Poquoson tax map parcel number 20, parent 155. Randy?
Mr. Mayor, members of council, you will hopefully recall from June a discussion about the possible road projects there to align Shipwreck Island. We discussed, and ultimately council gave favor to a design option that largely put the future project of realigning that on property that's owned by the city, minimizing or eliminating the need to take property from the surrounding property owners. As part of that discussion, you may recall, if you look at the diagram, the building that's in the plat there is the teen center, and as presently constituted, if you see the notch out to the top left corner, that's really what this item does this evening. If you were to take that same line and take the notch out and just round it through the building, that is the current right-of-way. And this action, should you approve it, which is consistent with your June discussion, would essentially cede back to the EDA a small portion of property that they had previously ceded to you, associated with the road project. That will allow the building to essentially not have a right-of-way line through the middle of it or through the corner of it, and should make it so that building would be eligible for sale without having to be torn down in the future. As you know, the EDA has been marketing that property for before I got here, and they do have a prospective purchaser at this point, and this would allow that to happen and allow the building to be reused and gussied up rather than to be torn down.
Okay, very well. And Wayne, before I forget, after the conversation tonight, that triangle piece that's at the top,
It's been taken care of.
is that taken care of? Okay, thank you. All right.
It used to be Mr. Watkins' tombstone business.
Yes.
You may not be old enough, but I am.
No.
So you used to sit there there with a little lean-to, and it's where you call tombstones. And, it was the city, I went back and did a title work, and the city acquired that in 1999.
Right.
And actually, I did the deed, just didn't remember having done it.
Okay, very good. All right, that being said, is there somebody prepared to make a motion to move forward, and then we can discuss if council wants?
Mr. Mayor, I move that we adopt a resolution approving the boundary line adjustment for 962 Poquoson Avenue, Poquoson tax map parcel number 20, in parentheses 155.
Second. Okay, motion made and seconded that we approve the resolution. Council, how would y'all like to proceed? Everybody good? Any comments? Okay, seeing none. Evie, please.
Certainly. Councilman Green.
Aye.
Councilman Hucks.
Aye.
Councilman Canella.
Aye.
Councilman Southall.
Aye.
Councilwoman Andrews.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Freeman.
Aye.
And Mayor Hunt.
Aye.
Mr. Mayor, the motion carried by a vote of 7-0.
Okay, very good. Short agenda this evening. Comments of the city manager.
Mr. Mayor, 3 items this evening. Brian, Mr. Resmer left before I got a chance to say this, but I did want to thank him and just acknowledge the folks there at the shopping center for, in addition to redoing the parking lot, they also repainted the traffic markings there at Victory Boulevard as it goes into the shopping center, which I think is something we'd heard of from several people, concerns about that, and I think it'll make a much safer intersection there, and I appreciate the fact that they incorporated that at our request. I would like to share with you that we've, after Chief Holloway spoke, very similar process that we also go through with CRS. Spoke with CRS, Ken Somerset is our lead on that, spoke with them last week, and while we are currently a CRS rating 8, we're on our quest to get to 7, on our way to get to 6, hopefully, and we are on track and hopeful that we will meet our goal for next year as soon as the official findings of the most recent visit come in the next few months. So that's another one of those roadmap types of things that Chief spoke. The previous report served as our roadmap going forward. We've done the same thing with CRS, and that's how we got from 9 to 8. and hopefully 8 to 7 in the very near future. And we're already skipping over and plotting how we get to 6 now. So those efforts continue. And lastly, just wanted to recognize and thank a lot of people, Councilman Hucks amongst them, the American Legion, Tom Jones, and Public Works specifically for managing from the contract associated with the recently constructed memorial wall outside at the memorial. And it's almost done. The wall's up, the lights are in, the plaques have been mounted, the tape is not permanent, and the tape is making sure that the adhesive whereby we're sticking the plaques to the wall stay overnight. But that project in its current iteration should be finished as soon as we can get the tape off tomorrow. And a lot of people contributed to that, and the Legion ultimately is going to provide the funding for that, in addition to guidance and suggestions along the way. That's all I have, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Councilman Hucks.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First of all, I'd like to recognize and thank Fire Chief Holloway, Deputy Chief Bryant, and their entire staff that worked towards the city's attainment of the Level 2 ISO classification for the fire department. Certainly a big accomplishment. It didn't happen by chance. A lot of perseverance, tenacity was shown, and that is much appreciated. And also, could we please get a public consensus tonight among council members to hold a council budget retreat, as we did earlier this year, in support of budget development for fiscal year 2020?
Yeah, I don't think that'll be a problem. That was what we did last year, and I plan on repeating that. I plan on repeating that. So, you need a consensus to do that? Okay, go ahead.
In conversation with Councilman Hucks, one of the ideas he had was to do that retreat earlier, like late fall rather than post-New Year's. Is basically, in order to discuss strategic objectives, sometimes it's helpful to get those discussions happening before the numbers are moving.
That's fine.
Would the council be okay with a November, December discussion rather than a January, February?
I don't want to get it too far in advance, but November, December.
Okay, thank you.
I would go with whatever the manager and his staff think.
Well, October's going to be busy, so.
Thank you.
That's only 2 months out. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Councilman Green.
Just to remind everybody, tomorrow is Mobile Food Pantry Day at the Old City Hall from 10 to 1. Emmaus Baptist Church is hosting it this time. And the food bank is really on a roll. They're going to initiate a new program tomorrow for Poquoson. It's got an acronym that I have no clue what it stands for. But basically, if you're 60 and older and qualify, this one you have to qualify for, you'll not only get the normal foodstuffs and meat that we hand out, but you'll receive a box of 29 pounds of non-perishable food to sustain you further than what we normally do at the mobile pantry, plus a block of cheese and a box of powdered milk. So it's a great program. It takes us beyond just what we hand out now, and it's a great thing for the seniors. So we'll be signing people up for that. We'll have a separate desk. The food bank person will be there to qualify the people and sign them up, and you will get that every month in addition to what we normally hand out.
Okay, very good. Councilman Cannella.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just piggyback on a lot of what's already been said, and certainly welcome the new employees to the city. I know the SROs in particular, a lot of citizens are looking forward to seeing them in the schools, and that's all I've got.
Okay, sorry about that. Councilman Southall.
I'd like to second the comments that have been made so far and to state that some of us attended the convocation last week, and Dr. Parrish did an excellent job. Okay, the presentations were very well done, and I thoroughly enjoyed being invited to that event.
Very good. Councilwoman Andrews.
Just nothing much more than, I just agree with what everybody else said, and just wanted to say it looks like we're going to get some new businesses here in Poquoson, filling up some of the empty spaces, which I'm really happy to see and looking forward to being patrons of those. And, you know, I just, overall, everything that was presented tonight and what's going on, I think it's just a good place to live.
It is. It is that.
Yes,
So,
it is.
Mr. Vice Mayor Freeman.
I was going to tell Chief Holloway that there is a difference in stating fact and bragging, just to make sure that everybody knew that. And being in the top 4% of the fire departments in the state of Virginia is a pretty good record. And then his regional leadership, going back after Williamsburg and James City tried it and got them to relook at that, that's pretty good regional leadership. For Chief Boeing, he is catching crooks right and left, being 20% down in his department, doing it shorthanded, and so that's a good job as well. And then the other thing was Councilman Huck's leadership on getting the memorial wall constructed out in front. And if any of y'all have not seen it, drive by and look. And that's all I have.
Okay, I have just one brief thing, and this is looking out into the future a little bit. I agree with everything that everybody said here as far as council and all the kudos and congratulations. There's one thing that I think that we need to put on our radar, and that is, unfortunately, the recycling business. Recycling is changing. The face of that is changing. And one of the main reasons that it's changing is our relationship with China. Okay, there's a whole lot more to recycling than put the cardboard boxes in. It goes to some place on Pembroke Avenue. I'm just making that up, and it gets recycled. There's a whole lot more involved in international trade, and it is creating some risk not only for Poquoson but for the other cities around us. So I've asked Randy to try to put together a briefing for council on what this means, how to protect our vendor base in recycling, but more importantly, what does it mean for citizens, and what is it that what they can do to help control the destiny of this whole program. So in the coming week, probably, when did I ask? September, the second meeting or first meeting in September, we're going to talk about that, and if we need a work session to do that, or if you want to do a briefing, it's fine with me either way. I just want to make sure that we're out in front and not victim to what's going on after the fact. So I want to talk about it in front. And with that, I will take a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Okay, motion made second. We adjourn this meeting.
Certainly. Councilman Canella?
Aye.
Councilwoman Andrews?
Aye.
Councilman Green?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Freeman? Councilman Southall?
Aye.
Councilman Hucks?
Aye.
Mayor Hunt?
Aye.
Mr. Mayor, the motion carried by a vote of 7-0.
Okay, very good, and we are adjourned.